Good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Paola Sarmiento, and this is session number 10 of our speaking lessons with the group A from the course Intermediate English 2. As usual, as always, I am waiting for the students to connect right now. And in the meanwhile, I am going to give a small summary of the class, what is going to be the class. Last session on Tuesday, we have really big problems with the connection, and me and the rest of the students. It was nearly impossible to give the class. I was pretty much trying the whole hour, and they were they were having bad connection, the three of them, and me as well. So we couldn't do much of a class. We did one exercise, and that was it. So let's hope that today that we have a better reception of the signal, of the internet signal, we are able to finish up the exercises that we were supposed to do last class and try to complete the ones for today. So what we were going to do on Tuesday on session 9 was to have a role play in which the students were playing some parts, some roles, to use the vocabulary of how to file a complaint. So this is going to be our warm-up exercise for today. So let's see if we can do it correctly so we can move on for the class for the topic of today's session, which is how to use the past simple and the regular and irregular verbs when you are telling a story about the past or talking about the past. So I am right now waiting for them. They are on the chat telling me they got the link already and they are about to connect. All right, so the exercises the exercises for today's session include talking about the past, which is that more specifically, to tell the group a childhood experience when the student felt scared, and this scary childhood experience, he's gonna have to, or she's gonna have to explain it and tell it in the form of a story using the past simple. Primarily, they can use another forms of past, but uh, especially the past simple. Regular and irregular verbs, and we are going to correct pronunciation. We're going to correct grammar functions and the way they express the idea, the clarity, and the fluency. And for the third exercise, they're going to have a picture in which they will have to describe, or not describe, but complete the dialogues. Is going to be an image of a comic, and they're going to be by turns. They're going to be improvising on what they think the dialogue is. So using the past simple, well, using other tenses too, but especially the past simple, so we can correct how familiarized are they with the forms of the past simple, and how are they going to use or keep practicing the different forms that they have practiced so far. The past continuous, the regular and irregular verbs, etc. So that's pretty much what we're going to do today. Let's hope we can complete it, all the exercises. And obviously, as every class that we have so far, we are going to start by saying hello, by greeting the group, by telling a little bit about how was your day or your week, trying to warm up and be more confident, be more confident to start the class. So At the end, also they will be given a conclusion, and they will be given like an explanation of how they felt about the exercise. And this is what we're going to do. All right, so it's right now 6:08 p.m. and the students are not here yet. What else can I say about it? We have a new student coming up from another group who needed a change of schedule, and I'm going to send her the link right now. So let's see if she can connect. I'm going to share the link in the Hangouts around here, and well, the idea is to. It will be great to have this new student because in this group there are only three practicers, and sometimes we have visitors, students from the group B that for some reason can't come to the class on the weekends. So I give them the option to come to this class on Tuesday and Thursdays, considering the fact that I give them the same I am giving them the same classes to both of the groups. So that way they will be able to assist and not lose the class and complete the activities. And so I'm trying to be flexible with them, knowing that um, they have problems with their jobs, and you know. So some of them sometimes visit us, but in general terms, there are only three students in this group. So sometimes it's difficult to have the enough amount of the students to make some of the activities, but at the same time, it's also better for them because they get to talk more, they get to practice more, so they don't have to wait their turn for the turn. They don't have to wait for the others to finish, for other six students to finish, so you got your turn. So it's good for them. Well, what can I say? This is the first time that they actually are so late. They're usually I send the link and they usually connect right away. What I usually do is that a few minutes before the class, I write to them to the WhatsApp group, letting them know that they have to get ready because we are about to start the class and I'm going to send a link. So and let them know first. And in the meanwhile, I prepare everything, the materials, I prepare the link for the Hangouts, I do everything. When everything is ready, then I send them the link through Skype, which is faster for some reason. When I try to send them the link to the email, to their emails, many of them rebound and they don't they don't get the emails. So I decided to do it through Skype. We opened we opened a group in Skype too. So this I decided just to send the link right away over there, and just they know they have to be paying attention to the WhatsApp group and the Skype group every time we have a class. And I'm also sending the documents and sending the materials through Skype. It's a little bit faster too. And we got the chance to do it really fast in a practical way, and they get the materials right away. And we get the messages too. Sometimes the chat of the group here in Hangouts doesn't work very well when they're all connected, the six of them. It tends to become slow, to work slowly. So we communicate through chat when I have to write something to them or send them something to their WhatsApp or the Skype. So it's very weird. It's not usual for these students to delay the class so much. So I'm going to wait a little while. It's 6:13 in the afternoon, and in the evening I will write to them again. Hi girls, are you ready to start? Are you ready to start? I'm waiting for you. Let's see what they say. I know that one of them is connected because in the Skype chat appears connected. So, all right. I let them know that I'm here already. Listen, I decided to start recording before they get here because at the beginning of the practice in the first sessions, I used to wait for the students to connect before I start the transmission or the recording. And some of the sessions turned out to be really short in the recording. So I was there from 6, but they got here at 6:20 or 6:15 or 6:30, and the class turned out to be only 60 minutes or even less because I waited for them to connect to start the transmission. So in order to leave an evidence that I was here at 6 and that I was trying to cope with the 90 minutes that the class is supposed to be, I decided to start the transmissions, to wait for them 5 minutes to connect and then start the transmissions, even if I have to do it by myself in a monologue or anything, and wait for that to connect. And it's a good way for me to recap in what happened and give myself feedback and give feedback to the course, to the class, to the session, in order for me to remember and finish using this information to write the teaching journal, keep keep track of what we are doing and what is happening and how the sessions are being developed. So I don't know until what time I have to wait. I don't really know. But I'm just gonna leave the evidence that I was here. Maybe I will wait until 6:30 because there is one practicer, one student, that she usually gets here a little bit late because she's coming from work. She works in a rural school, and the trip from her school to the city is long. It's very long, and sometimes she had problems getting here on time. So she asked me to miss the first few minutes of the class if she could get here at 6:25 or 6:30. And well, like I said, I'm trying to be flexible because the idea is for them to practice and have their courses, and I told her that there was no problem, so she usually gets here after 6:15, between 6:15 and 6:30, 6:35. So I'm going to wait for her just in case she shows up and we can make the class. So I'm going to wait for her until 6:30. All right, what can I say about this group? I've been saying some stuff before, but I just want to recap everything that has been happened. So in the moment when I make the final grade, I am clear enough, and you too also, the ones who are watching, about what has been going on with this group. So we started. There was 6 students, five, five students at the beginning in the list, and when I first reached them to start the classes, only three of them started the sessions, and so far these three students has been the one who has been uh, taking the process from the beginning. So we have Karen, Luisa Fernanda, and Lady, and the three of them belong to Group A. They take their classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 7:30, and they are all in intermediate English too. I don't remember right now the number of the semester. I think one of them is in fifth, the other one is in 10th, and the other one is in six. From the three of them, Karen is the one with a much better speaking level. She usually understands everything that I say, and she's very willing to respond with long answers, not only giving the exact answers or the exact information, but she tries to speak. She does a big effort to maintain the conversation with me, to keep it flowing. So from the very first session we had, she was willing to tell me a lot of things, to talk to me about everything, and she usually makes sense in what she says. So she follows the line of the story, and she's able to maintain the conversation, which is really good. The mistakes you might have sometimes with the pronunciation of some words, and sometimes with the way she expressed the ideas or the way she's forming the sentences to express the idea. Many of the sentences uh, go out well. It's understandable. What she's saying is clear enough. But I have to work, or we have to keep working on the accent, the pronunciation of certain words, the fluency that she might have, because even though she tries, she gets blocked a lot. Yeah, so she stops and tries to think about the way to do it and keeps going. However, she tries very well. So her level, it's enough for the exercises. Uh, she usually do the exercises correctly. Obviously, I correct pronunciation. Obviously, I correct the way she say the things, the correct way to form the sentences, the order of the words, etc. But in general terms, she maintains the conversation, so she's able to complete the exercises from the beginning to the end. She's very attentive, and she has a great attitude towards the class. So far, she has done all the homeworks I've been giving them and completed all the exercises. She's usually very punctual. She's usually coming to every class. This is actually the first time. This is actually the first time that she's missing the class, and she's actually writing right now. She wrote me a few minutes ago, She's at work, still at work, so she's not here. And well, that is pretty much it about Karen. Luisa Fernanda, she's also very good in terms of understanding what I'm saying, in terms of listening. She's very active also. When she speaks, she tries to give all the details that she can also, which is good. She tries to use all her vocabulary, and she also tries to speak fast enough to not let the listener be bored for what she's saying. So her level is not that low either. She has vocabulary and an idea on how to say things. Obviously, there is a lot to improve in terms of pronunciation of the words, pronunciation, influency, intonation of the sentences, the way she express her ideas. Sometimes are not completely clear or they're not completely connected to one another. So that makes it a little bit harder to understand when she gained the main ideas of something. But in general terms, she has no problem to maintain the conversation, to answer the questions, to complete the exercises. And she tried to do it with no help. It sounds natural, it sounds um, organic, right? Okay, and on the other side, finally, we have Lady. Lady is a Spanish teacher, and she's very active too. Usually, she has a lot to say, but her pronunciation is still a problem because she fails a lot in the intonation and the pronunciation of the words, as well as the statement of the sentences, the way she forms the sentences to express the idea. So we usually understand what she's saying. Sometimes it's hard because of the connection between one sentence and the other, and also because she sometimes tries to translate literally from Spanish to English. So the sentence and the expression came out really wrong. So we are working on it. I try to give her ideas on how to say things. I try to give her tips on how to improve the speed of her speaking. I try to correct every time she makes a mistake, make her repeat again. And hopefully by listening to me and by working on the exercises, she'll be able to feel more confident because it's a little bit of nervousness too. That maybe she doesn't feel that confident to express her ideas in English. But she tries. All of them. They're very good and active group. They usually don't miss any class, which is great. Which gives me the chance to complete the classes and also gives me the chance to help them. They work very well together and they try to do everything as they ask. Very fun group also. All of them are teachers. All of them work as teachers, so we have a lot of stories to share. I let them talk to me. I let them tell me the stories. I try to ask them about their work because it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting to share the experiences for us as teachers or future teachers. But in this case, we're all teachers. So we can identify already with the pedagogical work every day and we can share stories. They're not English teachers yet. One of them is a science teacher, the other one gives private classes, and the other one is a Spanish teacher. But they understand what teaching is. So one of the things that I've been telling them to do is to explain the concepts because they are teachers already. So they have to prepare to give the concepts, to explain the grammar, to explain the definitions, to explain the exercises to their future students. And I try to give them tips on how to do a class completely in English when you have to explain a concept, which is hard, when you have to give examples, when you have to answer questions from a student, especially when it comes to grammar, because grammar is hard to explain. And when you cannot use Spanish, it becomes a challenge, a big challenge to have the students and the learners understand what you're trying to say, what you're trying to explain, the information you're given if you cannot use Spanish. How do we know? What kind of expressions do we use? So I've been giving them the chance to try. So every time we're working on a grammar topic, I ask them to explain it to me first, what they understand. How will you explain it to a student if I were the student? How will you explain me that grammar function so I can understand it in English? And that is not an easy exercise to do. And it's a necessary exercise. And I'm trying to give them the chance to do it, considering the fact that they're already teachers, so they know how the classroom works, they know how to deal with the students. Now they have to know how to teach English, and that's what they are learning. All right, so it's 6:30. It's, it's 6:30 in the afternoon, in the night, and the students didn't get anything back to me. No answer, no through WhatsApp, no through Skype, and they're not connected. So I think I'm gonna leave it for here. I waited for them, the three of them. I got no answer from any of them, so I just have to assume that they're not here, that they're not coming anymore. So thank you so much for joining me today, for listening to all my explanation, my monologue again. And let's hope this doesn't mean that the students are getting discouraged. Well, one of them gave me an excuse, and the other one has usually has problems to get here on time. And I don't know about the other one. So let's see what happened next class. So this was the intent of session 9 for group A. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.